Welcome to the Killing Podcast, Episode 6, What You Have Left.
Yeah.
I'm your host, Martha Southgate.
And I'm Rob Southgate. Let's get into this.
You know what?
What you have left really means how much can you take?
Yeah, there's really not much any of these people have left at this point.
This was tough.
By the end of this episode. But I am very grateful that we're done with this part. We got through the funeral.
Yeah, we said that during the show because of all the things that have been leading up, it's all been horrible, and I've been dreading the funeral. And yes, it's going to be horrible going forward. There's a lot more to go.
But not as horrible as a funeral.
Seeing the kid being a pallbearer.
Well, and just,
seeing them get dressed.
Oh.
Just
brief. Okay, let's start at the beginning.
So it starts out with the mortician.
The mortician's preparing Rosie's body for the wake or funeral. It doesn't appear that they did a wake, but maybe the family got to view her something, because I thought, why
I think that's what it
go
was.
Through all that of dressing her up and putting the fake nails on if no one's going to see her?
Right, you only saw them at the gravesite. It was only the family there. Okay, so I don't think they did anything more beyond that.
Family and a few friends.
Well, only that guy and her sister. That was it. And then it was the kids and Mitch and Stan. Mm-hmm. So it was really this little tight group. So I don't think there was anything beyond that, but I think that they made her look, they made her look okay so that the family could give a view, should they choose to. Mm-hmm. And it was, oh my gosh, when they showed them.
What do you mean, give a view?
I don't know. I'm so rocked by this.
Okay. You mean view her?
Yes.
Okay. Sell tickets? I didn't know what you mean, give
ladies
a view.
And gentlemen, we're giving a view.
5 cents? I mean, that
5
sounded
cents?
really
What world
creepy.
do you live in, Grandma? Way back in my time, it was 5 cents for to give a view.
Give a view.
I don't know. Anyway, I just got to get this out because it was awful, and I got to say it, and then I can get the image out of my head.
And we're going to have to laugh occasionally because this is really hard.
When they were putting the fake fingernails on, and we know that her fingernails were broken, and that from clawing at the
we're not laughing
trunk.
At that.
No, I have to say it so that it's done. That moment is something I have been dreading.
Right.
Since this started, I didn't want to see her hands again. And they gave us a quick shot, and okay, we're done. And
end scene.
Yes. And then we see another awful thing. We see Mitch getting Stan's clothes out.
Well, yeah, what I wrote was the mortician is preparing Rosie's body, and then I wrote Mitch is preparing Stan's clothes.
Yes, it's exactly what was happening.
Just she was laying
it out. It's all part of the ritual.
As meticulously as he was dressing Rosie.
And she notices a cufflink on Stan's
I couldn't
suit.
Tell what it was. I wrote a ring or a cufflink.
No, I knew it was a cufflink.
Well, you're a guy.
And I also knew immediately it's going to be something that Rosie gave him. Yeah. That's the kind of thing, especially when you looked at it, it was kind of this, different kind of cufflink. I'm like, that's something that kid would give their dad. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And when they talk about it, he said, I didn't even use cufflinks, but I ripped the buttons off and made a hole so that I could put them on.
It just breaks your heart.
Oh, my gosh.
And then Sarah's looking at missing photos.
Yes.
And she starts thinking perhaps there's, some type of...
Yeah, this is interesting because...
serial killer.
Do you remember at the last one, she was looking at that board very intently and kind of piecing things together. And now I got a different thought. When she was looking at those wanted posters, or not wanted, there were desperados out there, and she was looking for the desperados. When she was looking at, this was devastating.
I know.
When she was looking at the missing posters of all those teenage girls, I thought this time, instead of looking for connections for Rosie, she was looking for connections. Maybe this is a serial killer.
Yeah, between the ones who are in those photos.
I know that's kind of obvious at this point, but it hadn't occurred to me that she'd be looking serial killer. I thought she was just trying to solve Rosie's murder. But now it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
The scope of it is getting larger. It's frightening.
Well, so she's looking at the missing photos, and Reggie comes in and brings her breakfast.
Right.
And she says, "You've been here all night. I'm assuming you haven't eaten,
Yeah.
and then she's talking about Jack and how you've really got to give this kid something. Like, you've
Right.
got to give him more of a life than you had. And
Right. And she's also, this was an important scene with Reggie.
was a
I think
very
it was
important
telling us a
scene.
lot of things, because she was saying things like how Sarah was at his
Yeah.
age, and
that
how
she
there's
and she
similarities.
did say that she gave birth to Jack. So there went my theory that he was adopted, and
Yes.
he's the one who drew that picture. So now we're thinking that Sarah
My theory is right.
Sarah drew the picture.
Yes.
And her mother was the crackhead, and Sarah was the 6-year-old.
Oh, you're saying that. I'm still saying Sarah could be.
It's the queen's we.
Sarah could be the crackhead, and
She doesn't have crackhead teeth. Do you think she capped them?
Well, no, she might have only done it a short bit or something. She didn't do it long enough to get the crack teeth, but it may have been an incident that happened. That's my new T-shirt, crack teeth. We've been watching too much Orange Is the New Black.
Yeah, exactly.
I
think that's meth, though. That girl who has the brown teeth.
Yeah, that's probably meth. Okay, you can tell I know so much about this. All I know is
somebody was a crackhead.
Yeah, somebody did
according
crack,
to Sarah.
And I'm thinking it was that Sarah had done something.
I think
she got
Sarah
too close
was
to
the one who did the picture.
Okay. Well, we're gonna find out.
I could be really wrong. I mean, we're probably both really
wrong. We
wrong.
could be completely wrong.
But Reggie was her social worker.
She does say you were a tough social worker. Now, we don't know.
Or she said I think she said something like a crappy social worker.
A crappy social worker.
Something
and you know what? We're also assuming that she was Sarah's social worker. She just might be a family friend or something that is a social worker and has been there for her the whole time. So we're making some assumptions there. We just don't really know. Yes.
And so Jack, they're supposed to fly out that night, and Jack knows they're not going to. He knows they're going to miss the flight, but she will not.
No, she's delusional about it. Because she said, we're leaving on the red eye. This is it. Reggie's like, yeah,
There's
I won't
no
believe it when I
way.
see it. But you better do it because Jack needs this. Then Jack comes in. He doesn't buy it.
No, he knows very well she's not leaving.
No.
And clearly.
Now, do you think she'll send Jack?
No.
He'll just stay with Reggie.
I would hope so.
I would hope so, too.
I don't want him with the aggressive kisser.
Well, he's not an aggressive kisser to Jack.
No, but aggression is aggression.
Aggression is aggression. No means no.
I don't want him with that. I don't like that guy.
Okay. So
I'll get off my soapbox.
Oh, man, you're short when you're off the soapbox.
Shut up. So Sarah, she's talking to the captain, saying that she thinks there's a serial killer.
Yes.
Holder, this was my favorite scene. Holder walks up dressed in a suit-ish.
Yeah.
With the worst tie.
And that yellow shirt.
That was the ugliest tie I've ever seen.
Just before that, I wrote down, you saw him pull into the precinct there. I thought it was like an impound lot, but it was the precinct. They had the gate. And he opens the trunk and he pulls out this wad. And I wrote, pulls pants in a wad out of his trunk. And I'm thinking, oh, is this kind of evidence or whatever? Oh, no. That wad is his suit.
That was his ensemble that he chose to wear that day.
He's going to wear it so bad.
It is so bad. And the captain looks at him and told him he looks like he donates plasma for a living. And as we used to live that way, and you donated plasma.
It wasn't my living, but I did donate plasma.
It was enough, for us to eat once in a while.
Yes.
That was a long time ago, really long time ago.
Well, now they don't pay for plasma, so.
How do you know?
Because I called.
Oh my gosh.
Well, as a safety net. No, actually, I called because since we don't need to do it now, I felt compelled to do it. And what I was doing...
Well, how does that make any sense since we don't need to do it?
We needed to do it, so we needed that extra money. No. We needed to do that, so we needed the extra money.
Yeah.
But now I don't need the extra money, so I felt compelled to give it as a way of saying thank you and of giving back and being positive.
Oh.
But instead, at work, they pulled up with blood bank vans or whatever you call them, and I would give double pints I don't know what you call it. I would do it where you did double because they came in like every 6 months. So I'd do it, instead of doing it every quarter, I was doing it every 6 months.
Can we really seriously?
But it's the same thing.
This is boring. Okay, can we go? Let's start that scene over. So Holder we want to keep the first part. Okay. So the captain tells him he looks like he donates plasma for a living.
Right.
That's hysterical. Oh, God, you totally killed it. I am not listening. No one wants to listen to 15 minutes.
Then let's take...
of you talking about donating plasma in a nonsensical
But I was trying to make it make sense. So let's...
God, you failed.
Okay, so the suit's ugly.
The suit's ugly.
And Mitch and Stan are then...
No, they find out they can't get a search warrant because the captain says it's only circumstantial evidence.
Oh, I was so blinded by the suit, I didn't write that down.
You better find more evidence before I can get you a search warrant, because she says, well, the crime scene's going to get contaminated.
Right.
And he's like, well, that's not my problem. Go get your job done.
Right,
so there you go. Now Mitch and Stan are
now
fighting.
Mitch and Stan, yeah. And I just wrote, the tensions are high. Understandable.
Oh my gosh, I wrote the same thing. Tensions are high.
Aww.
Oh, we're so cute. So Mitch and Stan, they're fighting over their memory.
Yeah.
Of when Rosie gave Stan the cufflinks.
Right.
And Rosie's saying, Mitch is saying, I was there. I took her. It was Father's Day. And he's saying, no, they were under the tree.
Christmas. And
it's just...
There's not going to be a winner in this because it's just not...
They're just a
good.
Mess right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's unhappy and devastated. And
the fight kind of gets broken up by Mitch's sister coming to the room and just saying, hey, can I get you guys anything? Like, she kind of breaks the tension a little bit. They realize they're being foolish. And it just kind of ends there. Yeah. Once again, this is leading up to everything I've been dreading.
Yeah.
So
then we have Darren, and he tries to apologize to Gwen.
Yeah, because
badly.
He's apologizing to her because he had her investigated.
Yes.
And she's not thinking clearly here.
Well, no, because they're in a relationship, and she clearly feels stronger about him than he feels about her. And he says Jamie's coming back to that campaign.
Right. So now she's thinking that he trusts Jamie over her, which, we don't know. He may have had Jamie checked out every which way before he tried that move.
And then Jamie walks in, and it's just awkward.
Oh, awkward.
And so they get a call. Principal Myers has shown up.
Right.
And so Jamie and Gwen are alone in the room together, and they don't even look at each other. Like, it's just really awkward.
It's awkward.
And then Jamie smiles and Gwen smiles and walks out of the room. It was really weird.
Actually, there was a funny line, too, because when Jamie first walked in and there was all this tension and everything, he says, we got to get on this. We've got the debate tonight. We got to work on it. And they're kind of standing there awkwardly, and he goes, do we need family therapy first?
Exactly.
Before we do this?
Clearly there's
yeah, this is not going well. Okay, so Darren leaves. He goes to talk to the principal.
And she warns him that the teacher is under investigation.
Yeah, and she's not doing this because she's got a big heart. She's doing it as a political move, which we've seen this from her already.
We've seen it from many people.
But she's the worst.
Yeah.
And, I mean, she's not the worst.
the mayor's the worst.
Yeah, but she's in that boat.
Yeah.
And
slimy.
Yeah, slimy. She's just doing it to get his endorsement to be principal or whatever. And you can tell Darren's just had enough of this.
Probably not principal.
Yeah. She said to be principal. My thing for principal's coming up or something. And I think that's what he said. Or she said.
I didn't think that was a political.
I don't know.
I would think if she was going for superintendent or something.
Oh, maybe it was that.
Okay.
Yeah, Super Nintendo Chalmers.
Super Nintendo Myers. So
Thanks,
he walks
Super Nintendo Myers.
He walks into where Jamie and Gwen are watching the commercial, and it's a commercial of him hugging the suspect.
It's the shot from the end of the last episode where he's got his arm around
it's not
Ahmet or Bennett Ahmet. Oh my gosh. Right there, front and center. Can't miss him. And Darren just turns the TV off like, oh no.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
Now that's the worst.
Yeah.
When I said that was the worst, that's the worst. Oh my gosh. What a terrible thing to have. And that's even if they don't show it, it's going to leak.
Oh.
This picture, this
There's
video
no way.
exists.
Yeah.
So it's not going to go well for Darren, no matter what.
How about the scene where Holder didn't bring Sarah coffee?
I knew you'd catch that too, because that's a little love action right there.
Well,
it's
not yet.
Not yet, but it's that relationship stuff. Because she goes, oh no, I hate when people bring me coffee.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, no, wait, I actually wrote it down because he had a really funny line. He goes, I got you a going away present, but I got it for you when you actually go away.
Yeah, I need you to actually go away first so I can give it to you.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he knows also she's not going anywhere.
She's not, and he can't move on. He can't get...
He's supposed to be taking her position.
Yeah, and he's just like a lackey because she won't leave.
Yes, and she's still calling the shots.
And she keeps giving him crap assignments and
the thing
holding him back.
He's going to be her position when she leaves.
Well, she's not going anywhere.
No.
So Sarah asks neighbors about Bennett.
Yes.
And the one guy says he saw a girl 10 o'clock on Friday night.
Oh, no, wait, no. Sarah is talking to the neighbor. Holder finds this guy across the street.
Yeah.
He finds a witness, so he calls her over. Sarah was talking to that woman that was... the
one who tells her about the telescope later. The
telescope
guy.
She's talking to her, but she doesn't really have anything to say other than there's something she says about Bennett, but it's nothing. It's inconsequential. But then Holder has this guy who's a witness, and the guy says that he picks his daughter up at that time. He said, it was clearly 10 o'clock. I know exactly what time I was here. I saw the guy with the dreads.
Right.
And there was a girl knocking on the door.
Yeah.
And knocking for a long time. Then they show him a picture of Rosie, and he IDs the picture.
Her,
So he's placed. Now, we don't know. I mean, he made the comment like, oh, I have really great eyes. Everyone in my family has really great eyes. You know what? When people say things like that, usually that means, you know what, we get things wrong a lot. So we're trying to show that we don't. So he may be wrong about it being
So when
Rosie.
I say I have really bad depth perception, it means I have really good depth perception.
Oh, no, when you say...
I sing like an angel.
Oh, now that's a perfect example. Yeah. I am a skilled dancer.
You are?
Would be, I am. As you know. If you'd like
did
to
see the Prancercise.
Yes, I am very skilled. I am like Billy Elliot.
If he was a big, giant, middle-aged man.
Hair pouring out everywhere.
With issues.
I'd be Billy Elliot and you'd be his friend. The boy that dresses like a girl.
That's not bad. All right, I could go with that.
Whatever that guy's name is. We're going to call
Michael.
Oh, you know?
I love that movie.
I love that movie too, but I don't know anybody's name. I only know Billy Elliot's name because it's the name of the movie.
Okay. That's because you don't care about anybody.
Oh.
All right.
Are you lashing out at me like Mitch and Stan now?
I don't know. I got to find where we were. Okay. Oh, Stan is moving the metal chests at this point.
Right. Did I say that he ID'd Rosie?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, Stan is working off some aggression. He's moving those big metal chests. Holy cow. You could tell for the actor, those were actually heavy.
He's going to hurt tomorrow.
Yes.
Is what you think when you're watching that.
Oh, yes.
Maybe a couple days.
Because there's no way. Those were not props. Those were heavy.
No.
And he was
They weren't that heavy. No, I mean, I think they were meant to look heavy, but I don't...
No, I don't think they were ridiculous heavy, but they were heavy no matter what. I'm telling you, because I used to lift those cases, the cases when I was a DJ, and those were about the same size. There were things about that size. Those things were crazy heavy. And he was just hauling those things around the room, and that last one was ridiculous.
Redonkulous.
Redonkadonk. We're so street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mitch is picking out her outfit with the help of her sister.
Yes, and her sister is this is where we find out clearly she's her sister too, because before that I don't think they've called her aunt and stuff, but we never knew. But her sister says, "Oh, I always thought you were so pretty in this, and remember when you used to help me get dressed when I was little?" And I think she's her younger sister.
Yeah, and she's been trying to be strong through all this. You never see her have any emotion. And so in this episode, she finally loses it. But at the moment, she's holding it together and helping Mitch get dressed.
Yes.
And she's telling her how pretty she is.
She's being strong for her and
really
supportive.
Trying to build her up.
Now we come to another thing I have been dreading.
The family leaving.
Yes. I did not want to see the family in their black walking out the door. Mm-hmm. Because the whole time, you're just, the feeling or a degree of the feeling, which is terrible. Mm-hmm. You can see, like, they're all dressed that way. And even, like, his guy that works there is in black. He's got a black leather jacket on, but he's all in black. They're all in black. They're marching into a nightmare. It was awful. Yeah. If you look at my notes for this episode, there's a lot of upside down, like, frown faces. Just because I can't.
Who does that?
I couldn't help it. I didn't know what to write. I wrote, like, R and and yikes.
You did not.
I did, because I was so upset. It's just like I'd see it and be like, I couldn't write, like, I really hate this, and this is really upsetting me. But it really was upsetting me. This is really affecting me.
That's why I'm glad this particular episode, we've gotten through it.
Yes.
Because I knew that funeral was going to be one of the hardest ones to watch.
Yes.
So Holder and Sarah go to Bennett's to ask him if Rosie had come up that Friday after the dance.
Wait. Just before they show up, though, it's Bennett and his wife are standing in the nursery, and they're doing what you do. They're nesting. They're talking about the crib and all that stuff. It seems really normal.
Yeah.
And the whole time, because of what we know, Bennett being a suspect and everything, the whole time I'm thinking, oh, this is terrible, too.
Yeah.
She doesn't know. Now, you have a different theory.
I totally knew she knew.
But we're going, oh, what is going on here? And then that's when Holder and Lyndon show up.
And they ask him if Rosie had come up that Friday after the dance. And he's like, I don't think so. Oh,
yeah, no, I didn't remember.
She did. Yeah, she was dropping off a book, but for the life of me, I just can't remember the name of it.
Oh, yeah. Everything they ask him, you can just tell he is lying. And his wife is standing behind him the whole time.
But wait, hang on. They ask him to come in. And to see the book, and he says, get a search warrant. Now, all of a sudden, his demeanor changes.
Right, because before that, he's trying to be all friendly, and he's acting like he doesn't know, and he knows that he's not getting out of this.
No, and he says...
Because they're still pressing.
And he says, get a search warrant. And he said, I have to leave for a funeral.
Yeah,
so he's actually knowing that he had something, whether he killed her or not, he had something to do with it.
He's involved somewhere.
Yeah. And so I wrote, is he covering for the wife? Because she's awfully calm. Yeah, she's not mad.
She doesn't freak out on it.
If someone came to the door and said, if police came to the door and were questioning you and saying, oh, was she here at your house when I was supposedly out of town or something? I mean, I'd be, you'd see a whole another level.
Wow.
But she's just standing there and not acting surprised, now, not looking mad.
We also don't know. Now, we're making assumptions again.
I'm making assumptions that she killed her.
Well, okay, that's a big assumption. But we're making assumptions at this point because she isn't reacting, but she may actually be in shock at this point. Like, this is not part of her world. Here she is, that pregnant. She was just in the nursery having this conversation, this lovey little conversation, and now there are detectives at your door basically accusing your husband of murdering a girl.
Yeah, no.
So I'm thinking that
at this stage, I still
sure.
believe she did it. And and as we go further into the episode, she's clearly
there's something
not.
Well, no, we still don't know. We don't know.
So Gwen and Jamie now,
as Sarah said, the evidence is circumstantial.
Yeah,
and she also said, Holder's like, let's take him in. What are we doing when they leave? And she says he's lying, and he goes, of course she's lying, and he goes, he's lying that she came in. So that's interesting right there. She was at the scene, she was knocking on the door, but there's nothing that says an interaction between Bennett or his wife and Rosie. She did not enter the place, but he knows she was there and he's trying to hide it. That's all she's saying.
Mm-hmm. So Gwen and Jamie now are on the same side, and they're trying to get Darren to distance himself from Bennett and the sports club thing.
Yeah. That midnight basketball thing. Oh, yeah. And, oh, my gosh. Jamie says the best line here. Because Bennett's trying to... Or is Bennett? What's his name? Not Bennett.
You're on the wrong scene.
Darren. Darren is trying... I'm getting characters confused. You see why I don't know names? I told you I get confused. Okay. So, I almost called him Bennett again. Darren is saying, we can get around, or we can get past this, trying to be all righteous about everything. And Jamie says, right now, you are the candidate that's summed up in 5 words. Dead girl in a trunk.
Yep.
That
was a great line.
That was it. It's like, those words need to be plastered in front of him so that when he says things... It doesn't
help.
No, it doesn't. Because he once again, we don't know if he's got any type of involvement in this either. I don't think he does, but we don't know. But he is trying to take this high road and act like, no, innocent until proven guilty and all these,
His high road's going to lose him the election.
But he's going to lose the election. And he really slips up later with that.
Holder's in the car with some dude.
Yeah. Okay, so we missed a little thing before that. When Sarah left Holder, when she told him that Bennett was lying, she leaves, and there's a quick little moment when Holder is standing there and he looks and he sees like a little drug deal go down. There's like a teenage guy. Yeah. That. And he does one of those little handshake drug things to a guy, and you see him looking, and at first I thought, oh, it's his old Vice thing. He's catching, he's seeing this. But the next time we see Holder, he's in the car with a guy who's clearly his sponsor.
Yeah, we think.
Now, we don't know if it was drugs, if it's alcohol, what it is.
Oh, well, the one guy outed him for being a druggie.
Right. Yeah, but we also said at that point we weren't 100% sure.
I like to think I'm 100% sure.
I think you're right.
That's why I'm not a police officer, detective, or anything else, because I like to jump to conclusions.
Jump to conclusions. That's your game, isn't it?
It is.
Remember in Office Space when they created the game Jump to Conclusions? It had your picture on the box.
It did. So...
but he's with his sponsor. It's clearly
Holder
his sponsor.
Says, I am a... Part of me is a man who is confident and knows just what to do, and the other part of me is a man who is weak.
Yes.
And the guy who is in there with him said, "You know who to follow."
Right.
And gives Holder info about Stan being former mob.
Yes, and indicates that he may have, that he was muscle and he may have done some very bad things, and that he also had really bad gambling debt.
Yeah.
He also lets him know that in that Stan walked away from this a long time ago.
Yes.
Now, I just had another thought as we were talking about this. We're thinking that guy is his sponsor. We're thinking that it's drugs or alcohol or whatever. But there's another scene that comes up when he talks about he mentions the cross that he has tattooed on his neck. What if, instead of being a sponsor or any of those other things...
His pastor?
No, because this guy is a detective or something. The one who gave him that information.
Okay.
He knows things. And he was dressed... I thought he was a detective right away. Like some other place. But what if that guy is like... We find out he's part of like his men's group. An accountability partner or something. Because it very well could be that, too. We're assuming that he's done these things. We're assuming that he's going down this path, but maybe instead of a sponsor, it's just like a guy that he is in a men's group with who is his accountability partner. He talks to him about this stuff.
Well, and if the man said,
He's
you
saying,
know who to follow, he could mean
he might
Jesus.
be talking about Jesus, right? And he does make the reference to the cross on his neck. He says, this doesn't come off.
Yeah, he said his is permanent.
Right.
Yeah.
So that might be what that guy was also, because things weren't said.
You never know.
All right.
So Sarah gets a call while she's at the funeral.
Yeah.
And so she's outside, and the hearse shows up. Stan's a pallbearer, and then one of the boys comes up and he says, "Can I help?"
Yes.
And so the dad,
moves over,
kind of
lets
makes
the
sure
kid in
he
there.
gets in there,
Yes.
and then
this is the beginning of
painful.
pages with frowny faces all over mine, because
is that what those mountains are down there?
Yeah, see them? They look kind of like, it looks like a frog face, sort of,
I don't
doesn't
see
it?
the eyes.
The little dots at the top.
Okay.
This page is full of frowny faces because it's just awful. Watching them pull that casket out, taking it in, it's a closed casket. They're having their funeral. I'm glad we didn't really see.
Yeah, I am too.
This. We did see a few moments of it, and we did see like the priest, and we saw some altar boys. And you know what? I said it when we were watching it. In that show, there's a show on Hulu. It's an Irish show called Moon Boy. There's an episode where the kid wants so badly to be an altar boy.
Yes,
it's hilarious.
it is.
It is hilarious. And all I could think of was Moon Boy.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking Chris O'Dowd was going to show up behind him.
Yeah, this is
his imaginary friend. And I was like, oh, thank goodness, a little levity here because of Moon Boy. So, hey, let me recommend Moon Boy to anybody listening.
Well, Sarah finds out...
A larf, as he'd say.
Sarah finds out that Bennett wasn't home at 10 o'clock to let Rosie in.
Oh, wait, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
So that's when she got the call saying that he was at the dance at that time. Or no, what they said was, she just says, are you sure he was there that late? Meaning that he was still there.
At the dance until what'd she say, 11:30 or something.
Oh, see, I didn't catch that. I only caught that he was still there. Okay, so that's where we find that out.
Which is why I think that the wife was home murdering Rosie, and then he came home from the dance and saved her.
See, I don't know if it's going to be Rosie, if that's... I think that we're finding out something happened. Oh, it could be. What if because she had that hammer. She was sitting there with that hammer. I'm
telling you, the woman it is guilty.
Oh, you are making big assumptions there.
Oh, she's guilty. She's guilty of something.
But she might be guilty of something. Something may have happened. Maybe he's protecting her so that she's not a suspect.
But they carried the... Okay, well, let's go on. So, Bennett wasn't home.
We don't know if that was what that was. Okay, keep going.
Darren grills her for info. Grills Sarah for info because he shows up at the funeral.
Right. He wants to know.
And she says, you can't go in. They're not letting anyone in unless they're family or friends.
Right.
And she said, I'm not allowed in either.
Right. But he wants to know if Bennett is a suspect.
Yeah.
Because this is really bad for him. And she's like, have a good day.
Yeah.
She just walks away. She
not
can't say
even
it.
entertain this conversation.
Right. So now Holder is back at the precinct, and he's interviewing the sister of Bennett's wife.
Amber's sister.
Amber's her name. Okay, Amber's the wife.
The wife, yeah.
Okay,
and it's Amber's sister, and she's there for questioning.
Right, and she indicates that she isn't a big fan of Bennett.
Well, no, but she says that Amber did not show up at her house until 1 a.m.
Right. So
that's because Amber was trying to get rid of a body,
or something was going
with
on
her husband.
Mm-hmm. We don't know.
And she said she came in and she was upset. She had clearly been crying.
Right.
She was upset. Well, she blamed Bennett.
But she also says
she has a problem.
I have a problem with it. I have an issue, and that's when Holder notices that she's got the cross on.
Yes.
And he says, he shows her the tattoo, and he says, mine doesn't come off.
Yeah, he turned around and he kind of...
He's figured out that she has a problem with Bennett for religious reasons here.
Yes.
And then she makes a reference to, hey, I'm not prejudiced.
There's this war going on.
But there's a war going on, and I know who's on what side, indicating that, maybe Bennett's Muslim, or maybe he's, who knows what he is. But he's not Christian with her. At least that's what she's indicating there. And she's saying he's on the wrong side.
Yeah, I didn't get the impression it was a race thing as much as it was a religious thing.
No, but she said, I don't mean to be a racist.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a race thing either. I think people use that term incorrectly a lot. Because a race and a religion are two different things. And but a lot of people confuse that when they say those things. And I think that's what she was doing there. I believe that it was completely a religious issue.
Yeah. So Darren meets up with Gwen's dad.
Yeah, the senator shows up again, right?
And the senator says, in politics, one of the mottos is first you win and then you do good, meaning do whatever the heck you have to do to win,
right?
And then you can do good work after that,
right.
So you kind of throw your ethics out the door.
That's what he's saying for sure.
To win,
which is a real surprise because I don't believe that about any politicians.
Well, and especially where we live,
right in Chicago,
as all of ours.
Well, no,
are in
here
prison
they say what they need to, and then they do what they want.
They do it, and then they go to jail.
Yes. In Colorado very often.
So
I don't know why. Why did they go to Colorado?
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, not the one. He was in Wisconsin or Michigan or something.
No, a lot of them go to Colorado. There's a prison that has like 4 or 5 of the Chicago.
Oh, that's fantastic! I'm so proud.
It's so nice.
So he wants him to cut the teacher loose, and then he'll have all the support he needs because, everybody's rooting for him.
Right.
But they're not convinced that he is capable of winning the election. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah, no, he's not. He's going to slip on a banana peel here in a second.
Yeah. Remember when I thought when I didn't want to throw a banana peel out the car window because I thought another car would slip on it?
How can I forget? It's a dark day in the history of our family.
I really thought a car could slip on a banana peel.
You know what?
That
would be
weird?
Tragic and hilarious at the same time.
Hilarious.
Oh.
I was serious though. I still kind of worry about it. I still don't think I could do it.
You still think that a car would slip on a banana?
I kind of do.
If it was a giant banana
would
peel.
all 4 wheels have to touch the banana peel
at
the same time?
Strategically placed banana peels?
Then it could?
No!
Oh.
No! No!
What was I so scared of? I've seen too many cartoons.
What were you so scared of? This is a person who's afraid to touch newspaper, and you're asking me what you're so scared of.
You're afraid to touch newspaper? How embarrassing.
I didn't say me. I didn't say me.
So, okay, meanwhile, back at the grave.
Oh, you made me laugh at a terrible... This is a 3 frowny page here.
3 frown? Oh, I see.
Oh, the family is at the gravesite.
I thought it looked like mountains with snowflakes. Your little drawings there.
No, those are the drawings I did on the Sound of Music podcast that we did.
Shut up. I am so mad. Don't even get me started.
No, about the show.
There's something coming.
Yeah, with Carrie Underwear.
You do not... Underwear?
What did I call
Carrie Underwear?
Yeah, what's her name?
Okay.
You know what? I stopped myself from saying Carrie Underpants. Because that's what I used to always call her.
Carrie Underwood?
Underwood.
Wait, that's her name.
Oh my
Underwear?
Okay, well, everybody's
This has really gone off the rails. Okay.
Everybody just heard my brain damage there.
Okay, can we go back to the... Okay, so we're at the grave, and it's very sad, and the boy...
Oh, wait a minute. You still got me laughing, and then you start saying this. Oh.
So the boy throws the map in to the grave.
Oh, no.
And he says, so Rosie can find them when she flies over.
Oh.
And then the other boy kills a centipede. What was the significance of that? He looked very angry.
I'll tell you what the significance is. You see a centipede crawling in the dirt by your grave, it's going to be crawling into your sister's head in a minute. So you got to kill that thing. You're protecting your sister. That was awful.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it was just like a glimpse into the dad, like that this is like...
Oh, you are getting...
part of the family.
Esoteric here, man.
Well, I don't know. I just was thinking maybe they're just showing that the rage, like that anger,
his anger is coming forth and stepping on a centipede.
And the desire to kill something.
No, I think it was.
He doesn't want that bug
climbing into his sister. Which is awful.
Oh, right.
I know it's awful.
But she's sealed in the casket.
Well, I know.
Okay. Well, okay. So we're back at Darren's. And
that's why you have a Viking funeral, because they put you in a boat and set you out on fire. I'm not setting you on fire,
and then you kill all the and
then it's gone.
Marine life and things.
No, it's natural. It's like a wood boat, and you stand on the shore and you shoot a flaming arrow at the thing, and it burns, and then you die. And
guess what?
It's kind of like Darth Vader when they made the funeral pyre, and Darth Vader's laying on those sticks, and Luke lights it. I find that sad too.
We're not doing that for you.
I find that sad, though.
So they're trying to figure out, Darren says, I can't believe you called your dad. And she says, I didn't call my dad. And it was Jamie. Jamie called the senator.
Well, you know what? They do need some family therapy because there's all sorts of stuff
there
going
are
on here.
They got some boundary issues.
Yeah,
galore.
there's all sorts of things going on with Gwen, Jamie, and Darren.
And then the mayor lets on that he knows about Bennett. And, And he I love that commercial.
Yeah, Mayor Slimeball, which means if you don't address it here, I'm bringing it out.
I'm going to bring it out in this debate because, you can't leave that kind of juicy...
Yes.
Something. What's the word I'm looking for?
That juicy.
Ew. Something.
Juicy tidbit, we'll call it.
Well, it's more than a tidbit.
That juicy...
Okay, let's stop saying juicy.
Meaty?
He's going to detonate the bomb.
What?
He's got like a bomb, and then the mayor's going to light the fuse.
Right. Ooh.
How about that?
You've got a little illusion happening there. Very nice.
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Doug Henning?
Nobody knows what that impression was because it was.
But you did. It's an illusion. Thank you. Isn't that how he talked?
Well, kind of.
Well, where did he go?
Where did he go?
Did he make himself disappear? Because I haven't seen him in a really long time.
He turned himself into David Blaine.
Huh.
Could be. Could be.
So we're at the funeral.
Then he'd say, I'm an illusion.
Or not at the funeral, but at the little reception after the funeral. And Jasper's dad shows up. Okay, talk to me about this scene.
Okay.
With Mitch's sister. Because she looks like she knows him in the biblical sense.
Yeah, well, and she goes, hi. Does that excited
hello
ex-girlfriend.
I have had relations with you.
Yes.
And he completely disses her. He doesn't ignore her. He looks at her like she's the most disgusting.
And if you notice, behind him, I believe, was his wife.
Is his disgusting wife.
And she gives the look of death, so she knows something's up. Now, she may not know what happened with them, but the way Mitch's sister said that, she knows clearly this guy was...
But he looks at her like she's just disgusting. I mean, just a horrible... It'd be one thing if he just looked at her and kind of pretended like he didn't know who she was. No, he looked at her
like she's scum.
He looked at her like, how dare you even speak to me, you disgusting
Well, he's
person.
a dirtball anyway. This guy is gross.
Ugh.
Can't stand him.
Well, she takes her anger out on Stan's employee.
Yeah. She goes over and takes a swipe at him. You know, you're not part of the family. And here he is trying to...
feeding the kids.
He's trying to help the kids. He's being a support to Stan. You know, regardless of what his past may be, he's being family. He's being like a brother to Stan.
Yeah. And he gets a call at that point that it's the teacher. And he goes over and tells Stan.
Oh.
And he says, it's the guy behind you.
Yeah, it's the teacher. And he's like, what? And Stan goes over to Bennett. Bennett's on the phone. He acts like, oh, hey, I'm so sorry.
And who stands in the middle of a reception like that on their phone?
Well,
How freaking rude.
Yeah.
Go to prison, dude.
Go to prison. Even though apparently you didn't do anything or we don't know yet.
But he did something. He carried that body.
You go to prison.
I'm not going.
No, him.
Anything. Yeah, he needs to.
What? No, I'm not telling you to.
Oh.
I'm telling the figurative you to. Because... No, that doesn't make sense.
Bennett's neighbor is complaining to Sarah about the neighbor peeping Tom.
Yes.
And
now, wait, this was funny because she's indicating he's a peeping Tom and everything.
Yes.
And he is not necessarily.
He's got some issues.
He says, I'm looking at stars and stuff. When you go into his apartment there, when she goes in, it's filled with star things.
Yes, he is looking at stars, but he also admitted that he has no life outside of his apartment. So he kind
of watches what happens in the neighborhood, but he's not spying.
He's not a perv.
No, and that's what she was saying, that he's a perv, but he's weird.
He's
weird.
He's
for sure.
On the spectrum. He's on the autism spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
And
now where does he fall in comparison to
close to you?
You. I was going to say.
I was trying to get in before
close
you could diss me. Okay.
I'm on no spectrum.
We're all on the spectrum.
Tell yourself what you need to there.
Some of us are just a little more advanced than
or spectrum-y.
A little more colorful.
Ooh, good one. We should write a book. What color is your spectrum? Actually, I could care less. We're not going to write a book.
That doesn't make any... No, and it doesn't even make any sense. A spectrum isn't just one color.
Where do you fall on the spectrum?
There you
go. This doesn't make sense. I don't care.
That's the worst project ever. I'm not doing that.
We're not doing it.
You. Can't make me.
Not coming soon from Southgate Media Group.
No.
What color is your spectrum?
What color is your spectrum?
Well, I was thinking like what color is your parachute, but it's all about how you have issues and the tissues.
I have no issues.
I didn't say you. I meant the figurative you. I'm so lost. Where are we?
I am on the Peeping Tom. Okay, so Sarah's talking to him, and he says, "Is this about that girl?" And Sarah, was like, "Oh, jackpot!"
Yes.
So he says at 12:03.
Yes.
And he says, "I know that because I get up to look at whatever," and he had all the different star things,
all these
planets or whatever he was working on, and he said he saw Bennett with a girl, and she was wrapped in a blanket.
He doesn't know his name. He's like the guy with the dreads.
Hello, Bennett.
Yep.
With a girl, and she was wrapped in a blanket and didn't appear to be moving.
Right.
And the other one was helping him carry her.
Right.
And he says, it looked like you. And she's like, oh, so it was a woman? He's like, yeah, one of those.
Like smaller, like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, clearly he's not been around a woman.
No.
Other than his mother probably when he was a little kid. But that's about it for contact with females.
So we now have Bennett and Amber placed there. Shut up.
We do not.
I do.
We have Bennett,
Amber, and Rosie.
Some smallish person and something wrapped in a blanket at 12 o'clock.
12:03.
That's what we have.
And Bennett could have been there by then.
Could have been.
Amber would have been because she wasn't at her...
Maybe.
When it wasn't at her sister's yet.
Maybe.
And Rosie was missing and had been placed at that apartment.
But go ahead and do your thing because
how many episodes do we have left?
In the first episode,
I know,
we saw
to
Rosie
jump to conclusions.
running through the woods with somebody chasing her. The next time we see her, she is wrapped in plastic in a trunk. That is very different than what we're talking about here. How did she end up in the woods?
Oh, you blew my mind.
Yeah. So, something is not adding up there from what we saw in the beginning.
Well, no, he said she just wasn't moving. What if she was still alive and then they got her there and she escaped and ran through the woods and then they caught her and put her in the plastic.
Mm-hmm. Even though they never said she was hit with a hammer.
No, but they could have gotten her in the trunk and then drowned her.
Yes.
So she could have escaped in the woods as soon as they got her there.
Trapped her and then they...
Thank you. What about that?
I don't buy it at all.
That's not enough time for her to get to her sister's by 1.
No, that's crazy talk. Well, how do you know? How far away is her sister?
5 minutes. Right. I don't know.
That's not
but from the woods?
What?
Or the field?
Where her sister lives next to the woods.
The field where she was running? This has just really gone south. Okay.
I think I let you have a little too much rope there with your theories. It didn't make sense.
I just want it to be wrapped up in a nice, tidy little bow.
Well, this is episode 6.
And every episode I go, oh, it's Stan. Like the first episode, oh, it's her father.
There's like 7 more episodes to this season.
Every episode I have a new theory.
Right.
But this one I'm really holding on.
It's clearly the guy that they passed in the pizza place in episode 4.
Yes.
That's coming.
So they go to the apartment, to Bennett and Amber's apartment. Amber will not answer the door, and she's sitting there with a hammer. Creepy. Yeah. What's she going to do with that hammer?
Oh, she's crying. And now, she may be sitting there with the hammer because she's scared
to be by herself. Are you sure she was crying?
She looked like she was crying. She looked very upset. Maybe not crying. She was very... crying. She was not Ramboing there, like, I'm going to get you with this hammer. She looked scared. I thought she might be crying. And
why would Rambo have a hammer?
You never saw that one?
No.
Yeah, that was Rambo 7. And he did it all with a hammer.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I'll show you later.
Ew.
No. I'll show you the movie later. It was on the cartoon series, Rambo the cartoon series.
I don't want to watch that.
And you know I have. But I'm making all that up. But there was a Rambo cartoon series. It was awesome.
Oh, wait. In this scene also... Holder tells Sarah about Stan's mob connection.
Yes.
And she tells Holder, call Bennett, because they realize
well, she
Bennett's
knows that
life is in jeopardy
Bennett is
right
at
now.
the funeral.
His life is in danger right now.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And she says he was in the Polish Mafia. There may have been some murders, and she immediately is like, uh-oh.
And on my next line, I wrote, Stan takes Bennett for a drive. That would be the name of my children's book.
It sounds like a great kid's book.
Come on, Bennett, let's go for a drive.
Bennett had a no good, terrible, very bad day. Yeah. So
maybe he's taking him to the where she died.
Oh, maybe he is. Where they found the car. That could be, because when he was driving him, he's like, "Oh, you missed my exit." Stan just keeps driving.
Yep.
And Bennett knows.
Oh, he's dead meat.
Something's happening. Yeah, but he doesn't know he's dead meat. He just knows.
He knows he's in serious
something's
trouble.
Not cool here. And they call Holder calls.
You don't know
Bennett.
if he doesn't know if he's dead meat.
Holder calls Bennett, but Bennett left his cell phone on the table, and Stan is walking him out the door as this is happening.
He's not. He's
yeah, but he doesn't
forcibly.
Yeah, he's like, I really need this. I need to blow off some steam.
He didn't say it nicely. He was indicating he was very much handling.
Yeah, but
him.
I don't think that Bennett was aware of the danger he was in. Not until Stan missed his exit, and then it's like, oh yeah, this is not good. Something's going down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Darren is in the debate, and I thought this was an interesting scene because you see Gwen sort of standing off in the shadows, and he's talking to the mayor about how, when you care about something and you want to. I'm trying to think what he said. I didn't write this part down.
Okay.
But he was saying how we want more than the mayor's status quo, and he's like, when you have a passion for something and you want more, you love something so much, you want to.
Yeah, he was saying this, and it was having a completely different meaning to Gwen.
Yeah, standing in the shadows going, yeah, so you don't care about me at all, because that's exactly what I keep thinking is you should be feeling that in our relationship.
The mayor whips out.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
The whole Bennett thing.
Yes.
And Darren tries.
Well, no. What happens here is they're doing he says that about the mayor's status quo, and then Gwen is watching, and you could see that turning, and then Mitch's sister.
Oh,
we go to Mitch's sister, and she's putting on that record.
Yeah,
and
she's drinking.
Falls apart. Like, so it's
she's
the first
falling
time.
about Rosie, about her sister.
Because I've always thought it was weird. She never cried.
No emotion or anything. And she's falling apart about Jasper's dad.
She is
This
totally
whole
falling
thing
apart.
Crashed in on her.
So what happens is we're back at the debate, and dummy Darren goes right into the Seattle All-Stars thing. He
goes right for it. Like, I'm not hiding.
Like,
Here we go.
And he gets raked
and that's
over
where
the coals.
Pounces.
Yes. So that's where you were.
And the debate guy even says, like, the moderator says something like...
leans over to Jamie and says, you're done. Your career's over.
You're over. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So Holder and Sarah are looking for Bennett, and they find out he's with Stan.
Yep.
And
she tells Holder to stay there, and she jumps in the car. We see the lights flashing. She says, I'm gonna follow the route back to Bennett's house. But we already know that Stan missed the exit.
Yes.
So she's not
finding
catching him that quickly.
Yeah. Unless she thinks to go to where Rosie was killed.
Right. But she's going to head to Bennett's first before heading out that way. So, yeah, this is a tense scene, and that's where it ends.
No. You've got then the little montage.
Okay, and what's happening in the montage?
Every single one is falling apart.
Right.
You've got Darren's campaign falling apart. You've got
Mitch's sister falling apart.
Allow me to turn my page for a moment. Yeah, so you've got Darren's campaign falling apart, Mitch's sister falling apart, and then Sarah looking for Bennett, and that whole thing, their whole case is falling apart. If Stan murders him, or does something
their
rash.
case doesn't fall apart. They can still solve the murder, but now they have
their family will
murder.
fall apart worse. And
yes.
I mean, the whole thing will be a disaster.
It's all
I'm telling you, it's all
bad
falling
news
apart.
right here.
It should have been called.
It's kind of like at the end of every episode of 24, it would do this little montage and you go, and every scene it would show would be everything going bad.
Yeah.
This reminded me of that.
This is called.
This is incredible.
This is called What You Have Left, and what I'm seeing is, it should just be called It's All Falling Apart.
Yes.
That's all I have to say.
Or it could be saying it to Rosie, this is what you have left. You left and all this happened.
Oh.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
All right, let's wrap this sucker up.
All right. Oh, I can't wait to get to the next episode. So that's it, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for
suffering through.
Thank you for going on this journey with us through The Killing, Season 1. We will be back with Episode 7 in a week. And or if you're listening to this on your iPod a couple months from now, you can finish this one and listen to the Episode 7 immediately afterwards, if you're still with us. You can find the episodes on our website at www.southgatemediagroup.com. You can also find a whole slew of other shows that we have there. Please check them out. Maybe you'll find something you like. Also, find us on iTunes. Subscribe. Give us solid ratings if you could. 5 stars really helps us. I actually was thinking about this. You know what that actually does? Because people actually have been asking, well, what does it do if you give good ratings? It makes it so that you position higher on iTunes so more people can find the show. Mm-hmm. So if you like the show, that helps bring other people to it, which is what we really need. Other than that, find it on iTunes, find it on Stitcher. I guess that's it. Mm-hmm. I'm Rob Southgate.
I'm Martha Southgate.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. We will talk to you on the next episode of The Killing Podcast. Until next time, who did kill Rosie Larson?